Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Welcome back to the time of year where it's socially acceptable to crack a tin at 8 in the morning. It's not a red can, it's a Colonial Sour, the watermelon and raspberry. It's delicious. If you like sours. If you hate sours, you'll be freaked out by it. It tastes like a scrumpy cider. Great for summer. Now, this list, I'm getting rid of this stupid hat. Going back to my old faithful Akubra. Well, actually, this is a brand new Akubra. I feel like a real city boy. I feel like a 79 series driver or something. Bloody concrete cowboy wearing this thing. I left my other one in Uber after 7 years of faithful service. So here we go, back to, it's a fresh Akubra Traveller in olive, I think the colour is, yeah. Which is the same one I had before. It's not sponsored. And speaking of that, this list is not sponsored. No one has paid me money to say anything about these products. These are all organically chosen. Now, this list is my top items for people who really like four-wheel driving and outdoorsy stuff. It's not just cooking items, it's not just four-wheel driving items, it's a bit of everything. The other thing is, every single one of these items is an item I've used for a fairly long period of time, and I feel very comfortable recommending because it is good quality. As I said, not sponsored, so it's not impacted by other brands. So let's get to it. Item number one is 3 items, and they're for different purposes. They're mats. So in this car, I've got a specially custom cut muck mat that fits here for Fred. And that means that when Fred gets in and he's sandy and dirty and whatever, I can bash that out. You can just send in your dimensions, they'll cut it out for you and make it, sew it all for you and send it out. I also use 2 of them in my camp trailer, one inside, one outside. And they are great doormats and really dirty stuff mats for lots of muck. They hold a lot. I've been using fake grass in my car for over a year now. And it holds. The reason I use it is not because it looks cool or anything like that. It's very, very practical. It's much more practical than a standard rubber mat because it holds a lot more and it doesn't spread everywhere. So, and this is also extremely good quality fake grass. The other one I use is on the floor of outside my camper. This is something that I would only use under an awning. Some people use them for swags and stuff. I don't think it works as well. Something undercover, I would use a Seagear multi-mat. And the reason I use them is sand will go through them, so you can pour sand through and it won't come back up. It also it dries quite well, and I actually just keep it on the front of the camper. It gets a little bit of dust on it, sure, but you can bash them out quite well. They don't absorb anything. I've got one of the Oz Tent ones from my RV5, and that tended to absorb mud, whereas the Seagear doesn't. They are quite expensive, but they're also very, very well made. As always, there'll be links in the description for everything here. There's going to be a page on my website with the Christmas list. Go there, use the links, and it'll save you a heap of time. Also helps out the channel a little bit when you go on there. Now, the third one that I've used for quite a few years now is the Crash Mat. And the Crash Mat is it's for underneath your swag. This is one I'd use outside. So I use this not only to put underneath my swag. I like it because it breathes, because it is canvas. It's not like PVC, but it doesn't breathe too much, so it doesn't actually let mud and moisture and stuff up through it. It's more that like it'll dry on a hot day, whereas PVC will sweat on a hot day. So it does wick moisture a little bit. I find them really, really good for outside my swag, put my boots on it, all that kind of stuff. But I also find it great to wrap gear up in. I use it on the front deck of my camper to put firewood and chainsaws and all that kind of stuff on there so it doesn't scratch it. I also use it, anything I don't want to get wet on my roof, for like things like chairs. I'll put them on my roof, wrap the crash mat over it, and hoik it down with straps. It's kind of like a fold your own bag, if you like. I've got 2 of them, and I've used them for so many things. Oh, changing a tire, and like they're just really, really, really versatile mats. But great for when you only want whatever they are, 2 and a bit meters by 1 and a bit meters, as opposed to getting out the 6 by 2.5 meter Seagear mat, and the muck mat's obviously too small. Anyway, that's enough about mats. But those are the 3 I use and the 3 I recommend. And I have used a few others as well. I just don't recommend them. Duh. Item number 2. So this is the Osborne fire trivet. And it's something that I worked with Osborne to design. I had one that was quite good, but it wasn't anywhere near this good. And the reason for it was it didn't have this middle triangle here, and the arms used to jam up and a few other different things. Basically, it annoyed me, and we thought, why don't we make a really, really good one? And that's exactly what Osborne has done. So it's all very, very sturdy, very well made. I mean, I have no trouble standing on that at all. That didn't bend at all, still works perfectly. I'm 80 kilos, so if that gives you a bit of a reference. Now, these, why would you need this? Why would you want to lift your pot or pan up or whatever? This is mainly used for a camp oven. The reason you don't want to put your camp oven directly on coals is actually that it'll put coals out. So by lifting it off the coals, you don't choke them, and you actually get more heat by moving your camp oven away from the fire than putting it directly on it. Sounds counterintuitive, but when you're cooking for 45 minutes or an hour or 2 or 3 hours, this is a godsend. You can keep loading it up with stuff, and it won't smother it. It'll keep going. You can just add sticks. You can, all that kind of stuff. You get the idea. Small, compact. I just leave it in with my larger camp braai, and I've actually got the travel braai in here as well. I've got the whole bloody team in here, so that just all goes into the bag and fits really nicely. Look, honorary mention to the Osborne camp braai and the Osborne travel braai here as well. They're not part of the list, but they are still the 2 most used camp cooking items that I own. So if you haven't got one, if your friend likes fire cooking, whatever, that is a really, really, really good option. Item number 3. Item number 3. Well, items number 3. There are 3 of them. Not recommending you get every single one, or suggesting you have to get every single one, especially the dog one. If you don't have a dog, it's not much point getting a dog first aid kit. Now, these are first aid kits. There's a survival brand. You're going to see in probably the next video after this one, our family camping vlog, where a lot of things went wrong, how important something like this is. A good quality first aid kit that has the little things that you don't think are going to occur, like a thermometer and things like that. Little things that I haven't carried a thermometer in my first aid kit basically ever, and I've been camping for a very long time, and it's just, when we had a little boy, it made a world of difference to have that peace of mind knowing that we've got all this stuff that we just didn't even really think about. The other one's a snake bite kit, and while the items in this are relatively they seem relatively simple, they are very specialized, and I can tell you that if you get bitten by a snake, the last thing you want is to be bodging it together and to have unclear instructions and relying on memory. Read the instructions before you've done it, so that at least they're like rough in your mind, and then when in the horrible event that something occurs, read the instructions again and use the proper products. It does make a difference. The first aid kit itself, I've been through this before, very, very good. That's the nicest one I've come across, and the fact that it's soft is also really nice, because it means that it doesn't bang around, particularly because it lives next to Fred. Fred's not going to bang his head on it. And this one, the dog first aid kit, comes with a whole bunch of dog specific stuff, including a thermometer for you, mate, and it doesn't go in your mouth, it goes in the other end. And it even comes with dog bags and stuff like that. It's just nicely put together. Anyway, I put that in Fred's dog bag. So this is the dog bag that we use. Actually, that does bring me to my next item. It wasn't next to the list. And by the way, these items are in no particular order.
For, but in French.
Crash pods. Now, they're made by Crashpad. They come in this bigger size and this smaller size. They are the best canvas bags I own. That's it. There's no other way of saying that. The reason that they're the best is because they do something that no other canvas bags in the market do, and that is that they are triple layer. They are canvas, padding, PVC. So they're the most sturdy on the outside. Then even better than that, and they are really good quality Australian canvas, on the inside, having PVC is a godsend, because when you inevitably break something in there, this is my pantry, so it has fish sauce and sriracha and oil and things like that. When you inevitably break a lid, forget to put something on properly, something pops off, something cracks, you wipe it out. With a normal canvas bag, you don't wipe it out, it all soaks in, and that bag is honestly never really the same. These things might cost 10 bucks more than a normal bag. You get that back in spades. They are not, I don't use them for everything. I use other normal canvas bags. Some canvas bags I actually want to breathe. So I use pure canvas bags, not the ones with PVC and plastic. But for food, particularly for food, these are bloody ideal. They're absolutely bloody ideal. I didn't realize how good they would be until I got them, and now I think I probably have 12 of them. I use them for just everything.
5.
Front Runner Wolfpack Pro. It's a box. It's a box for camping stuff. Now, these boxes, you can open them like this to the side, or you can open them completely. Take the lid off. They are watertight and dust tight. They are lightweight and they're stackable, all of which are really, really, really valuable in my mind. Those are that's sort of the main features I want from a box, and they're also bloody tough. I mean, I use these as stands a lot. You hear me pushing the air out of it, but if I there's a little bit of breathing, but honestly not enough to actually let dust in and out. I've had them in a lot of dust and they've been perfect. I stack them on top of each other to do my camper trailer awning, which is really useful. I use them for a lot of kitchen stuff, but I also use them mainly for stuff that needs to go on the roof or outside. Really, really nice to have something hard that you can stack stuff on top of it, on top of, and they just stack nicely in the shed as well because they are stackable. The other place they live is just here. When I go away with just me and Fred, I will put 1 or 2 of those there with a bit of kitchen stuff. I have just a dedicated kitchen one that's my grab and go for taking just this car away. Put stuff behind it, strap it down, perfect. And the best bit is, these are 65 bucks. That is not expensive for a good quality watertight box. You know, there are a lot of boxes on the market for more like the 200 buck mark. What I would say, if you're buying it, fill it with some other stuff, because boxes are quite expensive to ship. There's no way around it, shipping's quite expensive on them. So buy something else bulky, and most places will actually fill the box with the stuff. Well, I don't think I've ever found a place that, I've only bought them from 2 places, but I've never found a place that wouldn't just put the stuff inside the box. They usually recommend it, and then at least you know your stuff's safe. All right, on to the next one.
6.
A blankie, not just any blankie. This is the Ghost Outdoors army blanket. Mine's a little bit ripped because Fred, when he was a puppy, got into it. This is the Bibbleman print, I think. I'm picking up another one in 2 hours. Go camping. I'm going to get the ochre one as well, and we have been using these for basically since they came out, since Ghost started. They gave us one really early on and said, you know, do you guys want to test it and stuff like that, and they were like, can we have it back? And I was like, no, here's the money, I'd like to keep that, thank you. We just gave one as a engagement present the other day. They are fully woolen. You can machine wash them. They say you can't, but we've been machine washing this for years and it's fine. Just use a bit of wool wash and do it on a cold, gentle load. The great thing about wool is it doesn't absorb much water. It'll only absorb about 20% of its weight in water, whereas cotton will absorb like 300% of its weight in water. So if it does get a little bit drizzly or something and you leave it out, it's going to be fine. And wool is just lightweight, super warm, super good insulation properties, and just hardy. I mean, this has been going for years and it's fantastic. Keeps Bill and Fred and Sam warm all the time.
7.
The Machete. The Osborne Machete. Now, I'm really grouping this in. This was kind of an excuse to put good knives in the list. Last year, I think I said the cleaver and the chef knife. The new machete. I've actually gotten really used to this. The video that came out 3 hours ago from when I was filming this. My last video, I showed how to use it. I'm actually starting to really like this one. But if you haven't got it, maybe a chef knife or a cleaver is also a really good option. They're all made by the same people. Very good quality. They stay sharp for a really long time, which is really valuable to me. I don't want to be sharpening stuff all the time in the bush. Definitely recommend a good knife like this.
We're already up to 8.
This is the Warrior X Pro by Olight. It's a great little spotlight, and I mean little, it's quite small. I use it, I keep it in the door of my car, in the driver's door, and I use it just to spot things, finding campsites, finding firewood, just random things on the side of the road. It's not a great general purpose camp light because it is too bright. It's got one setting and it's bloody bright. It's much brighter than any other torch I've ever owned, and I've owned quite a few. I mean, yeah, you might be competing with like the very top of the LED lenses, which are like $400 torches, and I think this is about $100. Really good general purpose spotlight. Little clip-on magnetic thing on the back for charging, and lasts a surprisingly long time for such a small light. The other one is the Olight Perrin 2. This one is my general purpose camp head torch. It doesn't have a battery pack at the back, it's just got a battery pack at the front. It also can be removed and put on your bike or just carried around like a normal torch. I have had a lot of head torches in the past. I've gone from everything from $16 eBay jobbies through to $300 LED lenses. This is the best head torch I've ever owned. It just is. I think these are about 110 bucks. It lasts the longest, it's the brightest, and it feels the best made. I don't know what else I can say about it. It's entirely metal construction, same charging system, the magnetic thing on the back. I don't know of a better one. So yeah, and it's far from the most expensive. So yeah, I remember being offered one of these and thinking, oh, here we go, another bloody gimmicky head torch, and I was so shocked. I've just been shocked by how good it is. Anyway, that's it.
Nerf, but in English.
The Explorer Kit. Now this is a box that holds 2 wine glasses. One of them's at home. They are proper glass wine glasses, and they fit in a little kit, a little box like this called the Explorer box. Now these wine glasses retail for pretty much the same price as the wine glasses and the box. They're a very nice quality thing, but they do not bang around. That is so good. We had them in our camper trailer. Oh my God, these birds. We have them in our camper trailer, and they are so good because I'm never worried about smashing them. And you actually, when you do want to have a glass of wine, you get to have it out of a nice glass. This is a really nice gift for anyone who goes on picnics, through to bloody camper trailer owners and any kind of a camper who loves a glass of vino, or even who loves a glass of beer in a glass. So definitely recommend. Made in Australia.
Des.
Tupperware, specifically Cedar Summit X Seal and Go or something. I think it's something along those lines. Oh, it'll be on the screen anyway. These are round Tupperwares, and so I use these for everything really. I'd fill that with sauce usually, and I'll close it, and then that is, oh, I didn't actually close it tightly, but it won't seal if you don't close it, as it turns out. You basically seal them down tight, and they stay completely water and airtight. So that's, you know, nice and tight, doesn't leak. And then you can happily and comfortably put them in your fridge, and I've pulled them out at the end of like a week. They're sitting upside down with like 6 beers sitting on top of them and like being treated atrociously, and they're great. I've got all different sizes, so this is the big one, which I also use as Fred's dog bowl. But you can get, you know, a good couple of meals in some of the big ones. But the best thing about it is I've got that's 4 bits of Tupperware in the space of, and these little ones will nest inside the big ones, that will sit in the space of like 1 normal bit of Tupperware. You just can't go past it as a system. For camping, I've never found a better Tupperware system than this, and the main reason is because it's actually bloody reliable. I've never had a spillage out of any of them, and I've treated them like crap.
Undici.
When I first got this thing, I hated it so much. This is the Austrail 3-seater couch. It folds up to about 1.5 times the size of a normal camp chair, and it expands to a 3-seater camp chair. This one is disgusting. It is absolutely gross. It has been through hell, and we've actually just ordered a replacement. My wife bought this for me, at a camping show that I was presenting at. I was doing cooking demos, and about 4 years ago, I was so annoyed when I got it. I was like, we have probably 10 chairs in the shed. Last thing we need is another chair. We're never going to use it. It's so impractical. It's so big. It's so heavy. Why would anyone ever use this? I was completely wrong. We have used this chair more than any other chair. In fact, possibly as much as all of our other chairs combined. It is just fantastic. We sit with Fred on it. It'll be like Fred in the middle and one of us on each side. We'll have a nap on it. Well, it is just the most used couch. And they're not expensive. They're $120 or something, which for essentially 3 chairs. Like, that's all. This is all we take on family trips. We don't take 2 chairs or even 3 chairs. We take 1. And it's not a very, I mean, my normal Oz tent chair was much more expensive than this. And yeah, or a Helinox chair. It's like double the price of this. Anyway, really, really, really good bit of kit for a family.
12.
That concludes the physical items, sort of. There is one other physical item I'm going to mention, but it's a little bit different. What I also wanted to say was you don't have to spend money for Christmas. Give people vouchers that you made yourselves. So what I mean by that is, give someone a voucher to say, I'll cook you dinner for 2 nights. Give someone a voucher to say, I'll wash up for 4 nights. Give someone a voucher to say, I'll give you a bloody massage by the fire. I'll give you, I'll get you a drink at any time you like. Or I'll wash the car after a camping trip. Something like that. If you don't have much money, you don't need to go and, you don't need to go and spend a whole bunch of money. You can actually just do some nice things for people. It doesn't cost you a cent. Or it costs you very little at least. I just wanted to chuck that in there because I think that these things do get very commercial and very spendy. But if you do want to buy something, do I have the thing for you? Now this is the part where I shamelessly plug my own merch. So I have obviously my book, which now I believe is the best-selling camp cookbook in Australia. Thank you so much for the support. That is like, I can't tell you how overwhelmed I am by that information. So Fire to Fork is my book, 65 plus recipes, 200 plus pages. Took me 4 years to write it, and I'm really, really proud of it. So there's that. We've also got merch. This is a Fred t-shirt, which looks like him. And we've got work shirts, we've got girl stuff, we've got beautiful handmade breadboards. We're out of cups, unfortunately, but we've got a bunch of stuff, and I'd love you to jump on board and grab some of that, because that is how we stay alive. Patreon is really, really helpful, and it keeps, often keeps the lights on, but our main source of income as YouTubers, almost across the board, is people buying merch, and that makes more of a difference than you can possibly imagine. So thank you so much for the support this year. It's been an absolutely enormous one, and I can't wait for next year. Merry Christmas. See you in the next one. Cheers.